Hello everyone. So in this ProtoPie tutorial, I would like to walk you through how I replicated the lock screen behavior on iPhone. And I assume that you guys have some knowledge how to use variables in ProtoPie, what variables mean, and also how to use the receive trigger and the send response. And if you don't, just please leave me a comment and then I'll create specific tutorials how to use those functionalities. All right, let's dive in now. So first thing, if you look at my layer list, I have some text layers for the delete, for the back button, which doesn't show now, it will show later. Also for the success message. We have the keypad group, and inside of this keypad, as you can see, we have all the digits, pad 0, pad 1, and all these are instances of a specific component, which is the pad, as you can see here. And then we have a digit placeholder. So as soon as you tap on a digit, then the placeholder gets filled. And inside this, I also have all these instances of this digit placeholder component. And then we have the title, we have a background blur as well, and the background, this wallpaper. All right, first maybe let's have a quick look at how the pad component works and what kind of functionalities we have here. So first thing, I have a trigger, touchdown trigger on the pad itself. So as soon as I touch it down, let's see it also here. So I touch down and then there's an opacity response that brings it up to 100%. And this opacity actually is for this highlight layer, okay, that has a white color, 75% fill opacity. And then on touch up, we simply bringing this opacity down to 0. And as soon as we tap it, then we are sending a message to the parent or to the scene that says the message is key press. And here you can just have any kind of message that would make sense for you, for your case. But also I'm sending the value together. So the value is the digit.text, okay? And the digit.text is, give me a moment. So this is here, the text, right? This is the digit. And so we are using the text of it and sending the value back to the parent. So this is, let's say, the first step. And after this, I would like to show you how the whole thing works first. So I can tap on any of those digits. I can do 8, 2, 1, 3, 6, 9. And since it's a wrong passcode, you see the animation behavior that mimics the iOS one, right? And if I enter the right passcode, then I just have a success message and back, so I can reset the interaction and start doing it again. The other thing is if I'm typing and then I want to delete, so I also included this functionality, so you can simply use the delete button here. And this works regardless of how many digits you have typed, right? So we will dig into this as well. All right. So next thing, let's look at how we are receiving the message from the pad that I showed you before. So here we are sending the message, key press was the value, and here we are receiving it. And as you can see, we have a lot of receive triggers, which means we are receiving this message from pad 0, right? From pad 1, 2, 3, from all the digits, from all the pads instances that we have in the scene. And when I'm receiving this message, key press, then I am assigning to a variable that is pressed key. So if we display the variable here, and then you will see once I press 2, it shows 2. Once I press 9, it changes to 9, right? 3, 1, 2, 0, right? And then it resets. After I type 5 digits, if it's incorrect, it resets. And I added a vibrate response as well. You will actually feel this vibration once you are using your physical device for sure. And it's the same thing for all the receive triggers. All right, so I'm receiving the same message, assigning to this value to the same variable. The only difference is I'm changing from which instance I want to receive that message. All right, so this is the first part. Now the second part is we want to fill those passcode placeholder, digit placeholder, right? So the first thing, I am detecting a variable. I named it as entry code, so you can see it here, entry code. And I am detecting this variable, and I have a condition that says if the length of the entry code is equal to 1, then send a message to the first digit placeholder. As you can see, the instance digit placeholder 1 is selected, right? Send a message select. And the same goes for other ones. So if the length of the entry code equal 2, then send to digit placeholder 2 the message select. Now let's see what's happening after we receive these messages. So if I go into the digit placeholder component, let's zoom in here. So here when I'm receiving the select message, right, I'm just changing the color, the fill to 100%. And then I am I'm sending another message to the parent that says selected. And this just to tell the scene that this specific placeholder has been already selected. And now you have to move to the next placeholder. And this, I believe, I also used it for the deletion process. Now, this is about, and here I am detecting the opacity of this fill. Once it's 100%, which means, as I said, when I'm receiving the select message, I'm increasing the opacity to 100. And now I am detecting this. If it's 100%, then send a message that says placeholder filled and send the value together, placeholder filled plus 1. So this keeps on increasing. Now let's zoom out. And let's try the prototype now with the entry code variable displayed. So I start typing 1, 5, 6, 3, 8, and you see it keeps saving all the digits that I'm typing. And now if I type the fifth one, then it detects if it's correct or not. And let's also display the variable pressed key at the same time. So we can see if I say 1, so the pressed key only saves the variable or the digit that I'm tapping now. So now if I tap 5, pressed key changes to 5, but the entry code keeps on adding those digits. So I tap 9, 6, 3, 8, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is the correct one, and then success. All right. Now, maybe you are asking how I know that this is, or how I'm setting the right passcode. So I have a variable here that says passcode, okay, and it's a text-based variable. And here it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And this is the right passcode. And then in the password validation here, I am detecting the entry code. which is this variable here, right? So if the length of the end of the entry code was 6, because I have to enter 6 digits, and the second condition, if the entry code is different from the passcode variable, then I am adding some responses like move the digit placeholder by 18 pixels and then move it back to 18 pixels, right? And you see the duration, there's a delay between each one, it repeats 3 times with an interval of 0.08 seconds. And I'm sending a deselect message to all the placeholders, these ones, okay? Now let's see what happens when you receive the deselect. So let's go into the digit placeholder component. And as you can see here, I am receiving the deselect message from the parent. And here I simply reset the color, so I make it 0% opacity. And this is specifically how it goes. So I enter the digits. I'm entering a wrong one. And now you can see it sends the message. And then it plays this back and forth animation on the x-axis. And then it sends the message to clear out these digit placeholders. And now they are empty again. All right. What I'm also doing, I am resetting the variables for entry code and pressed key, right? So we can keep repeating or doing going through the whole interaction again and again. And here I'm also adding a vibrate. For iOS, I chose failure because it wasn't a success. Now, for the success part, the condition is, again, if the length of the entry code equals 6, and if the entry code is equal to the passcode, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then play a vibrate as success, and then I'm showing simply the success message, as you can see here, and the button back just to bring you back and try the prototype again. So for the back button, I have a separate interaction just to give it like a light vibration, and then hiding the back button, hiding the success message, resetting again the variables, and sending those messages to the placeholder to deselect them again. So let's now look into the delete digits. So I'm adding a tap trigger for this delete button. One trigger is enough, but then under this trigger, I have conditions. So the first condition would be if the length of the entry code equal 1, then send a message to digit placeholder 1 to deselect. So first thing, I am deselecting it, which means when I'm receiving this deselect message, I'm simply turning the background fill to 0%. And then I am assigning, for the entry code, I have a formula here that says left entry code 0. And this is a repetitive action somehow. So again, the condition, if the length equal 2, if the length equal 3, right? I always send the same message to deselect. But then the variable, the formula here for the left changes and the value changes. So for example, if the length was equal 3, then the formula would be left entry code 2. And what does left do is that let's enter 3 digits. Now the left formula says left entry code 2, which means only display or only keep 2 digits or 2 entries from the left part, from the left side, which means removing the 3 and keep 1 and 2. So now if I hit delete, it takes out the 3 and keeps the 2, right? And if you also look here, it says if the condition equal 1, then left entry code 0, because if I enter 1 and I delete this one, then I don't want to show it any digits anymore, right? So it's 0. And the same goes for all the other ones. So for example, if it's 5, I say left entry code 4, right? So if I type 5 digits and I hit delete, it will take out the 5th one and will only display the first 4 digits from the left, right? As you can see here. So yeah, this is the whole interaction. I will also add a link to the SPY specifically. Feel free to download it, go through it, and follow the video recording as well, so you can understand it in a better way. And if you have any doubts how to use variables, receive and send receive trigger and the send response, also please add a comment below, and I will be able to create like some specific video tutorials for those kind of functionalities. I hope this will be helpful for you guys. Enjoy, and yeah, happy prototyping.